Here's a question. What is happening in your life right now that makes you so unhappy, but you can't turn away from?
Mm,
Yeah,
that's a question.
big question.
That is a big question.
And we all do it. We all have something.
We do. Um, I know you said right now in our lives, but the very first thing that came from me was when I was drinking was alcohol.
Mm, sure.
I absolutely, for years, I hated who I was, where I was, what I was doing.
Huh?
That self-loathing was so
Ah,
deep.
yeah.
But I had myself convinced, and I would say it every day. I know more than once I would say it, sometimes out loud.
Mhm.
I can't, I can't,
Yeah.
I can't live without it. I don't know how to live without it.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
Yeah.
It's so self-destructive.
Yes.
And, you know, even though 13 and a half years has gone by,
Hmm.
alcohol isn't my answer today.
No.
Today, probably the biggest thing is still codependency.
Oof. Ouch. Yeah.
Um,
That's such a invasive.
and even though the destruction is different,
Hmm.
those things in our lives that we convince ourselves we cannot turn away from,
Yes.
they're destructive to us
Yeah.
and to other people.
Yes.
But,
And
but
why? Where is the, and I hear you, and I'm saying yes, 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 yes. And I want to say, and why do we do that? What is it that is so ingrained in us that we don't follow through, we don't turn away from that pain, we stay facing the pain.
mhm,
Somewhere in our wounding, we've convinced ourselves, I don't know, that we have to, we don't deserve better. I suppose there's all sorts of scenarios that, scenarios, as some people would say,
Mario.
scenario that keeps us, and if we're facing that way, if we're towards our, what we don't want,
Our
clearly,
roadblocks.
yes, clearly we're turned away from what we do want.
Yes.
And that, what we do want, which we dream about, we fantasize about, that thing from our, that really comes from our soul. These are not just pipe dreams. These are not just, oh, I wish I had whatever.
But
That,
we convince ourselves of that.
yes, yes. And that's what I do. That's what I do. Um, yeah, the old stories that come up in my head. I'm not good enough, or, oh, that's just a dream, because I've always been such a dreamer. Even now, knowing how psychic I've always been, I can look back, or I don't even look back. Okay, so that's not the right verbiage. I guess now that we're talking about it, I can look back and see it. But in those moments,
Hmm.
oh, Pam, just stop fantasizing about something that will never happen. I don't even allow myself really to go there, unless I'll find myself, when I'm not paying attention, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I was sort of in a daydream there. And
Sure.
I know I was talking to Fred about it, or I was opening that up. I was asking for those opportunities. And as soon as I sort of, okay, come back to this 3D plane, this sort of reality, then I shush it away. Oh, it was
Okay.
nothing. It was just, just I was just dreaming. Just dreaming.
Part of it is that vibration, right? That
Yes.
lower vibration of fear is so sticky. It's
Sticky.
so
Yeah.
grabby.
Yes.
And the higher vibrations of doing what we really desire, that takes trust.
Yes,
That
it
takes
does.
belief in ourselves and belief in
Yeah.
belief and trust.
Yes, but yes.
But it does take belief and trust.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And belief in spirit.
Yep. Yes. And we all know, we talk about it all the time. You have love and fear.
Mhm.
Fear sticks to us, where love we have to reach for and be in. So you don't have to do anything to feel like, right? Nothing. You have to do nothing to be in that fear. You
It's
just have to
easy.
breathe.
It is so easy.
Yes. Yes.
Um, that's why control
Yeah.
is so easy to fall under.
Yes.
Someone else's control
Yes.
when we choose that.
There's really, in some ways, not a lot of work to that.
Mm-mm.
We're giving up one hell of a lot, but we don't have to work for it.
Mm-mm. We don't.
And oh, yes.
Well,
Did I interrupt you?
no, I was just thinking about the energy that we expend
Oh,
live in that low vibration.
yes.
It's so
Yes.
easy, but at the same time, it takes so much energy. It
Yes.
really does take effort.
And you know what? What's coming now, when we allow someone to control us, because we are making that choice.
It is a choice, sure.
We are saying, or we are being validated by what's outside of ourselves. It doesn't mean it's a good validation, but maybe we feel that maybe we feel it's a good validation. If I let you just go ahead and take, because you know better than me, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or it's just easier to let you do it and I'll just go along. You just choose and I'll go along.
Yep. It validates our lack of self-worth.
Ah, yes, it does.
Yeah.
Ugh, and that's just ugly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, should we say hello to everyone who's tuning in?
We should. And you might have noticed that I'm distracted.
Yes, you keep looking out.
I do. There is a very large ant crawling up my window.
Oh.
And I was trying to say, is that on the inside or the outside? And he's on the inside.
Oh, hello, buddy.
Large. Anyways.
In my opinion, better than a spider, but you know.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. Yeah. Don't very often
No.
see, ants that big.
No.
No, they're usually those tiny little things.
Yeah, little sugar ants or whatever.
Yes. Yes. I think we should say hello.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome back. We're so glad you joined us.
Yes. Yes. So nice to have you here. I'm Pam.
I'm Mari-Lyn.
Yes.
And my little ant friend has no name.
Oh, yeah. But he's welcome to listen.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So nice to have you all here. What happened was this morning, I got up and Fred was in my ear. We'd been talking, I'm sure, for hours, and I don't remember it because I woke up with a basket load of information, and I came right into my office and did a meditation, which will be out next Sunday. So that's the first the first Sunday in November, whatever that day is.
Yep. That'll be the 5, right?
Okay. I think so.
3, 4, 5. Yep. Sunday will be
the 5th. So, and then Mari-Lyn asked if she could listen to it. And of course, so she did. And we decided to sort of talk about that. It was thank you, Fred. It was this
brilliant.
Brilliant. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So hopefully you all, wherever you're listening to us, on our YouTube channel, that is the same name, the Conscious Spirit Podcast, has guided meditations my guide Fred. I'm just the mouthpiece. I have no idea what's coming until it does. That's the way guided meditations go. It's very thought-provoking. It can be very emotional. It's about healing. It's about finding those things that we don't think we can turn away from, or that we don't even know.
Sometimes we don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
To
we
help
are
us get to
standing in our
purpose.
own, we're
Yep.
standing in our own way.
Yep, absolutely.
We are our own roadblock.
Woof.
And
Yes. Yeah.
you know, we don't know it until we know it. And then once we do know it, we have a choice.
That's when, yes, that's when the choice comes. And we do, everything in our life is a choice. And we choose
Everything.
yes or no. Go that way, don't go that way. Do
Allow
this,
it,
do
don't
that.
allow it.
Yep, yep. So should we open space?
Yes, please.
Do you want to do that, or would you like me to?
I can do it. Sure.
Okay. Good.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're going to open space for those of you who have not listened to us before. We like to, when we remember, we like to open space, and that's a way of you tuning in with your own intuition to your own spirit to receive the information that you need. It may not come from the words we speak, but you will hear exactly what you need through your own channels, through your own spirit. So we like to open space, and we've had very nice reviews on that since we've been doing that.
We
nice.
have.
Nice.
I do want to say, if you are driving, if you are operating machinery, if you're doing anything that requires your attention, please stay focused on what you're doing.
And just allow your body to get grounded and do its thing without.
Yeah, without really tuning in.
Yes.
And yeah.
All right.
You got a knife in your hand in the kitchen. Put the knife down, please.
Yes, please. Okay, Mari-Lyn, whenever you're
ready. Spirit, I ask that this beautiful space between Pam and myself and everyone listening to this podcast, whenever they listen to this podcast, we open this sacred circle of high vibration, of love and compassion, joy and peace. And we set the intention to hear the words that we need to speak, for everyone to hear however they hear it. Mm-hmm. So everyone hears what they need to hear in their own way, in their own time.
Yes.
So grateful for this opportunity to share,
to be in circle together,
and to be in circle together. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. You're going to ground everybody?
Oh, I got grounded during that, so I wasn't even thinking.
Hopefully everybody else did too.
If you need to drop a grounding cord from your first chakra, which is at the base of your tailbone, go ahead and drop that anchor, just like you're tossing one off a boat, and it goes down through all, the water, the layers of the earth, and then it anchors in, and it just holds you right there. And allow yourself to just bring yourself into your body and just be present with this.
Yes.
Thank you. That was sort of a, different way around, but we got there. So, so what are you? I think I want to ask that question again that we started with.
Yeah.
To everyone listening, truly, there is a place in your life that really is either unhappy or could be, still be unhappy. There's a place that everyone has, that spot in their life where it could be better. It's not the best, and you just keep day in and day out going toward that thing. And you don't for some of us don't even realize that there is a choice to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And we're giving you that choice today by listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that's stopping you from being happy in that situation? Whether that's walking away from the situation, changing your mindset, deciding things are going to be different, or completely dumping it and running the opposite direction and doing what brings you joy and what makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the question for today. What is that thing?
What is
And
that? And what is stopping you?
what is stopping you?
Is it wounding?
Yeah,
Is
most
it
likely.
is it wounding that you're not aware of?
Yes. That to not even realize you have a choice to do something different,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely trauma,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a trauma response. That's you know, like me with for a long time, I didn't realize that I was holding myself back professionally. I was holding myself back because there was this loop going on in my head. Well, that's just a dream. That's not really what you're meant to do. You can't do that. Not really. You're not smart enough. You're not whatever enough. You're not this enough or that enough or whatever. And it was a very quick conversation in my head. I mean, it would like that, all those words came in a snap.
Yeah, they happen
That
fast.
fast. Yes. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I would just turn away and say, okay, I'm not meant for that. Well, who says you're not meant for that? Is that really like, is that spirit telling you you're not meant for that? I don't think so. Is that truly your inner being saying you're not good enough or you can't do that? No,
Pretty much not.
no, that's Pam's trauma
Yeah.
saying you can't because it's always that way. It's always been that way. It's always been safer not to put myself out there, to not try for many a reason. And I don't even get that far. Like, it's not like I sit there and go, oh, well, if I do it, I'm going to fail, or this is going to happen and that's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. I don't even get to that point. It does not get past pretty much I'm not worthy of it.
Right.
And that's where the conversation ends and I move on to the next thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
Absolutely been there.
Something I'm working on, definitely. That is not totally healed.
The fear of getting ridiculed, made fun of. Ooh. Being vulnerable and then having it turned against me in a harmful way, and it, embarrassing or however it turns out. And you play those old tapes and the shame and the shame and the shame and the shame and the shame.
Yes, yes.
And it's really a disservice that we do to ourselves when we recognize that we're in a pattern of allowing shame to rule us.
Yes.
And don't do anything about it.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we don't know what to do about it.
Right. But I want to ask you mine. So as children, like my mother would say, well, why should you be any different than anyone else? Well, you can't do that. You're just an average person, just like the rest of us, and would always keep me sort of in that place. So was I a victim of her saying that? Yes. Was I traumatized by it? Yes. However, I am well into my adulthood. It is now my responsibility to do something different with that. So everyone that's been listening knows that I talk a lot about my mother, because that's where most of my wounding comes from. And that's what we do on this channel. We talk about our traumas, our wounding, and how to heal from all of that, right? I talk about her, but I don't blame her for everything. I'm not going down that road of trying to beat someone else up for what I now, that those are my lessons that I get to heal now. I asked for those lessons to come.
That's what I was going to say. Those are the lessons that you chose to come in to learn.
Yes. And she made sure she was a really good teacher. Thanks, Mom. Yes. But now I get to heal them, and I get to prove myself wrong. I have no interest in proving her wrong. She was wounded and traumatized. She was a hot mess and did whatever she did. But now that dumpster fire is mine, and I need to figure out how to put out that fire.
Right.
How to now work with this heap of a mess. Right. So
yeah. And you wouldn't think that proving yourself wrong about your self-worth, when we have low self-worth,
right,
wouldn't think on paper, it makes no sense that proving ourselves wrong would be difficult.
right.
It's very difficult.
So difficult. Yes.
And it's painful because as we go through the steps to prove ourselves wrong, we actually have to look at how little we think of ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
And that's hard.
What's coming through right now is there's someone out there that doesn't particularly care for the verbiage I used. Allow spirit to turn that into the verbiage that works for you. Mm-hmm. And what came to mind was when I was doing in-person guided meditations, I had said one time that we're all broken. We're all broken. Humans are broken. And one of the meditators, the next meditation, she came and she made sure to sit right next to me. She usually sat across the room, but she sat right, and she kept saying, I'm not broken. I'm not broken. I'm not broken. And I realized, I was like, why is she saying that? And then it all sort of came into focus for me. That verbiage was very painful for her. She that didn't resonate with her. That didn't work for her. She did not like thinking of herself as broken. So I sort of changed that verbiage a little bit. I don't remember what I did, but I certainly, I wanted her to feel safe there still, right? And unfortunately, she was not someone that was very introspective, actually. Like having that conversation with her, because I had other conversation, like it wouldn't have gone. Anyway, her verbiage, that didn't work for her. So I asked Spirit to help me speak to her in the verbiage that would work for her. And now I do not remember what that was. Anyway, for those of you out there that don't like the verbiage that I use, please allow Spirit to change that verbiage to fit what works for you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Even, I have to say, even if it goes so far that you can't hear Spirit, and you have to go to a thesaurus,
yes,
and find your own 3D word.
Yes.
Anything. It doesn't matter.
Yes. No.
We use verbiage that resonates with us.
Yes.
And that's all we can do.
Yes. So please know, and that's part of why we open space and we get grounded. So we can hear it in a different way if we need to. Because we all have verbiage that's hard for us. Maybe those particular words, were used on us as a punishment, as abuse, as, whatever. Maybe those words traumatized us.
Yeah.
I don't want to traumatize anyone. I want to, these words are coming from Spirit. We want to help you see what you're currently not seeing. So that was something I wanted to make sure to get out there.
And what's coming is that for some people, we may be brought certain verbiage to maybe to trigger you, to get
Oh,
you
that too.
to
Ding,
look
ding.
at something, or even to go through the process to find your own word so you can go deeper with what it is that we're talking about.
Yes. So
Because we have a choice.
we have a choice. So you're either sitting there, that's landing, or you're sitting there thinking, wow, Pam is a bitch. I'm going to turn this off.
Yep.
What a bitch. If you've gone to that place of Pam's a bitch, please take a moment to look at that. You can hate me. It's okay. You can call me names. But really, there's a reason that you're triggered, and that could be, it could all be in just one word that I used.
Yep.
And like Mari-Lyn said, look at that, because that's really something that you now get to look at, and you get to heal, and you get to reconcile with, because there's some trauma there.
Yep.
Yeah. So I know, remember that whole saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but you know, that whole thing.
You know, it really sucks to have to say this.
Uh-huh.
Words do hurt, and it's a choice
Yes.
that we make to allow them to hurt us.
And when your words hurt me, truly, that's my shit. No matter how you meant it, you may have stepped in to try and hurt me. And I've, believe me, plenty of times in my life, people have wanted to put me in my place. I'm a psychic, for God's sake. There are people out there who don't believe in what we do, right? It's not as if I've never heard some bad things come at me. And sometimes they'll sting at first, and then I take a step back and I go, okay, hold on. Whoo, wait a minute. This person is coming from maybe a place of being triggered by me. There's something within them that hurts, because hurt people hurt people.
Yep.
So wanting to hurt me, I'm going to decide to not take that hurt. I'm going to hold space for you as you are a creep and you're whatever, but I know that you're wounded. And then as far as me, why did that sting me so badly? What was that about? And I have to go in. That person just gave me the opportunity to heal something within me.
Absolutely.
And I'm always very grateful to those people. Not that I like, don't call me up and start calling me names. I'm not saying, come on. No, I'm not inviting it. No. But when you get hurt, you need to look in, not out. Don't look at the first person that you see. Don't open your eyes and go, you're the one. And go after them as if they, you know, I certainly do not purposely want to hurt anyone. So.
Nor do I anymore.
Right. Ooh, anymore. I heard an anymore.
Yeah. Once upon a time, I was that person that would throw darts with my eyes. I would throw poison with my words.
Oof.
And I've had to reconcile being that hurt of a person that I hurt other people.
Yeah.
And it was a choice.
Right.
Didn't realize actually when it was happening that it was a choice.
Yeah.
And when you have so much pain that it oozes from you like that.
Yes.
It's hard to realize really what you're even doing.
That was me, like high school. I was a mean, messed up, broken, sad, angry, abused person. So there is a part that's like, oh, sister, I know that one. Yeah, there is a part of me definitely that stands with you there, and I'm so sorry. It's
and mine was
to be
adultery.
that person.
Yeah, mine was a full-blown adulthood, full-blown alcoholic mode.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but you're right. Hurt people do hurt people.
Yeah.
And I gave a whole lot of people an opportunity to heal their own shit. Because
Good you are.
yeah, yeah. So all
Yeah.
of you out there,
Yes. Yes.
and
Welcome.
and thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity eventually to look at just how venomous I could be
Yeah. Yeah.
in my pain
Yes.
and make the choice to do better,
Yes.
to be better.
And I want to talk about that for a second, because we as humans, we look for someone outside of us to blame. That's kind of human nature until you get that one figured out.
Right?
It really is for everyone. I'm going to look out who can I blame for this, whatever.
Well, we're taught.
Yes.
That's
yes.
how we're taught.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've talked about this a time or two, about the shaming that both you and I had as children. That was it. And that was part of that too. I want you to feel bad because I'm feeling so bad. And I'm going to do that through, I'm going to try and shame you into feeling bad that you hurt me. And half the time the other person's like, what's happening? Like they have zero clue that anything is going on whatsoever. Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we really directed at the wrong person. Yes.
Yeah.
But now as adults, we have that choice now as sober adults. Because during that time, that when you're drinking or doing drugs, whatever your thing is, you're not in your body, you're not in a place to start healing, you are not in an introspective place. Even what's coming now is even the drunk that's like, I love you, man, and there's always one of those in the crowd. They're still not, they're in a lot of pain.
Yes. And you mentioned looking for someone to blame outside of ourselves.
Yeah.
But we also look for that validation outside of ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Because when we're in, and it doesn't matter if you're in an addiction or just in your wounding.
Yeah.
We can't be introspective. We can't go in and validate ourselves and love ourselves. So we find it from outside sources of the most destructive ways.
And you've talked about this before, and I totally agree, is wounding can be addictive. That's its own addiction.
Absolutely.
The pity party, the being angry, all of those, all that nasty, all the stuff that's in that vibration of fear that comes out, and we choose to stay in there because it's comfortable. There's some payoff. We're getting what we want somehow, somewhere, on some level, to stay in that.
And by comfortable, that could just be familiar.
Familiar. Yes, that's probably a better word, familiar.
I mean, there is comfort in familiarity. Yes. So it's not necessarily the wrong word or a bad word.
And then I know we've talked about everything. So I need to stop saying, I know we've talked about this before, because I think we've talked about pretty much everything. When people say, oh, that's just her. And so everyone around just sort of allows this really, I don't want to say bad behavior, but sometimes, but this behavior that's just destructive to everyone. And we're supposed to just let it happen. Yes.
The behavior that we want to walk away from, we are told repeatedly.
Yes.
That that's who we are.
That's who we are. So we stay in it.
Who we are. and we believe that
Yes.
lie, that distortion, that fantasy, maybe
Yes.
even that expectation.
And every time, I will guarantee you, whether this is you or someone else or whatever, when you have an episode, I will call it like that, where there's some big, like the guy that always gets angry at every party, or she's always crying, or the gossip, or the whatever. There is a time when you walk away from that, and in those quiet moments, the shame comes that you did it. The shame, the embarrassment. Oh my
Yes.
God, I can't believe I did that again. I told myself I would never do that again.
Yes.
And those are all that verbiage I've heard you say about your drinking.
Yes.
So I think everyone, that really will clue you in to what that is that you're doing, that you're not, that you need to stop doing. That's not great language, but something you can heal right there. There's an addiction
Something you
there.
can heal, right?
Yeah.
Something you can heal is a beautiful way
Yeah,
to say that.
because everyone does. Everyone walks away, and at some point, they will feel really bad that they did. You most likely will never hear them apologize for it or say, wow, I was an ass, or, whatever that is. And then I'm being reminded right now that there are those circles of abuse. And so sometimes you live with someone who is very abusive, and that is part of the abuse. They freak out, they scream, they yell, they do something, they abuse you, and then they come down and the sorrow really comes, and then they come back on their knees and they apologize, and then you forgive them, and then it starts all over again. And it starts all over again. And that comes back over and over and over again. That was a big thing in my family, having alcoholic parents. And you just learn to you just kind of learn to forgive them, like, okay, and you believe it's going to be different next time. When those type of people come back over and over and over again,
Yes.
you really believe, because you want it so badly. You want, even though there's nothing here that says they're not going to do it again. It's the same apology that you've heard 1,000 times. Wow, that took me back. Sorry, everyone. That really took me back to my childhood, and hearing that. It was my dad would be the one. My mother never apologized for anything she ever did. I had to apologize to her.
Right.
Or we kids had to apologize to her for making her so unhappy that she freaked out. Right. But dad was he would come, and he really was. You could see how sorry he was. He was a very tender person, but he was traumatized, PTSD, the whole shebang, the alcoholism.
Yeah. What you just triggered for me was a memory of being small, with apologies, right? I mean, we were taught, we did something wrong, we hurt somebody, we apologized. And I can remember at one point in my life thinking, and I think I may have been young adult, thinking how compassionate my mother was, because she expressed her I'm sorry was something that she said so often. And when I heard it, I felt her compassion. She really truly was, bear with me, she really was sorry that someone was going through that.
Sure.
And somehow, somewhere, and maybe it was always this way, it turned into victimhood.
Yep.
I tried to trick myself into believing that when I would say I'm sorry, that I was trying to express true compassion. I was not.
Right.
I was 100% in victimhood, I wanted the compassion. I wanted the sympathy. I wanted the attention.
That's what you learned. That's what you learned an apology got you. Right? You were taught that. That's what apology got you, or that's or it's just going to be over. If I say I'm sorry, that
No, no,
okay,
no,
that was my family.
no,
You
no.
have to say, once you say you're sorry, then it'll be all over and we can go back to normal. So we
No.
learned just to toss that word out there. Words,
Yeah.
I guess there's more.
No, we were always afforded the opportunity to wallow, to
Ah,
pout,
ah,
to work through whatever emotions
uh-huh.
that we were having.
Okay.
And I don't know, man. I mean, is one way better than the other? No, everybody is different.
Yes.
But for me,
It's still wounding.
man, talk about confusion.
Sure.
Do I pout? Do I wallow? Do I get introspective? Do I
Yes.
learn something from this?
Yes.
I
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And as your wounding compounds, as you're going through childhood,
Mm-hmm.
hoo-wee.
Yeah. Yes. I even remember, I do absolutely believe at the time that my dad would apologize, he was so sincere. I know in that moment, boy, did he mean it. He
Absolutely.
really did.
Absolutely.
He really did, but things never changed.
No.
It didn't change.
The spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
what's coming is for those people that are and it those people that are in addiction, because there is always an addiction of some kind.
Yep.
When there's that kind of abuse, apology,
Yep.
calm, and then abuse again, and there's always an addiction of some type, right?
Yes. Right.
Spiritually, that person hasn't reached the level to really feel the depths of
Right.
their sorrow.
Yes.
They can't sit in it long enough.
Right.
They can't allow themselves to sit in the sorrow long enough to really find out why there's sorrow in the first place.
As you're talking, I'm sure you'll remember this, maybe, but I think you will. I never had a harsh word from my dad after he passed. You know, he came around, of course, because I'm a medium. There was a point it was when I was ready for this. He didn't just, that's one thing that they wait until you're ready to say certain things or do certain things.
Yes.
When I was ready, he came to me, and I believe he was talking through you, if I remember, or at least part of the conversation was through you, because I couldn't quite hear it. He had worked through that as a healed spirit. So once he was in spirit, he had to heal so much trauma. And he wanted me to know he wasn't perfect. He wanted me to know that he did a lot of things that were not appropriate, that were wrong, that were hurtful, that were whatever. And for some reason, I really want to say this. My dad never abused me in any way. There was maybe emotional, yes, emotional, but there was no physical, sexual, anything like that. That was not in his makeup at all whatsoever. But as a healed spirit, so he wasn't able to heal himself in life, but boy, he was able to do that once he crossed over. Mm-hmm. And once he got there, and he wanted me to know that. And I remember resisting that, mm-hmm. But then coming around going, oh, for me to really heal some of these wounds, I need to see that. I need to see who my dad really was. I need to say, yeah, Dad, you hurt me. You wounded me. You did those things. Yes. So anyway, I needed to say that, and hopefully someone needed to hear that. There's always hope for healing with a soul to soul, on a soul to soul level, regardless if they're here or not here, they're there. And sometimes it takes them being there for it to actually happen. So we have to be ready, and they have to be ready at the same time for that true healing. So Dad and I went through that, and I assume you remember that.
I do. I had
That was hard to hear, that my dad was who he was, like, to see the truth of this man that I always idolized, even though he was a drunk. He was the sweetest, kindest man in the whole world.
Yeah.
And I had to see that for what it really was. And he was a really mean drunk. He was a mean drunk, but never toward myself or my sisters, always, unfortunately, toward my brothers. And so that makes a difference too, when you're, it's not coming toward me. So,
Sure.
Yay. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Woo. Well, thank you for letting me share all that, everyone. I needed to share that. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody,
Yeah.
I think there is multiple people
Yes.
that needed to hear. They needed that hope.
Yes.
That hope of healing.
Yeah. And that's always out there. Yes. And in my case, for both of my parents, they needed to be dead and gone and on the other side and healed before I was able to heal with them. And they have both, obviously, we've all talked about their apologies, everything. And it's very heartfelt when they're on the other side.
Oh, there's nothing like that.
Real. Yeah, it's real. There's no ulterior motive or anything. Their only purpose truly is first for us to heal, and then themselves. It really, really is. They come to you for those reasons, and it's amazing.
The emotional connection when that happens is so pure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because there's, like you said, there's no question. There's no, what if, what do I have to, read between the lines here?
Right. No.
It's so pure.
And this is not just because I'm psychic, not just because I'm a medium, not just because I'm a healer. There is so much that doesn't have to be said. It is truly felt on a soul level. Like, really, there are very few words that need to be said.
I have had many conversations with my mother who has passed that are exactly that.
Yes. Yeah.
No words.
No.
Just that feeling, that connection.
And you know what you're not going to get, really, is the whys. I know when I used to do readings with healed spirits, right? That's the type of medium I was. And then I, found my true calling over here in the paranormal spooky world. And still sometimes if I'm in a healing with someone, a session, and someone comes through, I will give messages. But other than that, I don't. Anyway, one of the things that will happen if the person in human form is not ready to heal, they'll want to argue, or they'll want to ask why. Why did you do that to me?
Right.
Why? And there is the why that you're going to get is not the why that you want to hear.
No.
It's not at all.
Never.
It's an entirely different why. Because they have now the big picture and the understanding of this whole spiritual journey that all of us are on, not just us, everyone. They may not know, and I want to correct that. we unfortunately don't die and go to the higher realms and just all of a sudden we know everything. That's not the way that
We
works.
do not become omnipotent.
No, no. But we
We
do
don't.
have the clarity of mind of, well, I did that because you asked me to. I mean, that's the why. That's really the why. And also put that with, say, like my mother, this is just an example. Or you can even use my father, whatever, the alcoholism, that's all the stuff that they chose. But we chose to be their children because of all of that, because the lessons they want to learn match the lessons that we wanted to learn. And right?
Right.
Yes. And yes, there's free will. And so there were times, I mean, my mother has come in and said, I did not mean for it to go that far. I am
Yeah.
so, like, there was a real apology. Like, I was only supposed to, verbally beat the crap out of you to about a level 5, and I went to a level 8, and I didn't, like, I apologize. So there is some of that too, but it's not what you want it to be. It's not. It's not going to be if you're looking for a specific apology. You're not
gonna get it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we get way off subject like we often do? Like Pam often does?
No. I don't know. So we started talking about those things in our life that are not in our highest good, that we cannot walk away from, and why. So no, I think where you went was the other end of the spectrum when the healing happens.
Yes. Or we're still blaming them. They're in spirit.
We're still blaming them, and we're looking for the what the.
Yeah. What the what? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Huh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And no. And
yes.
We can't get those kinds of answers.
So I do want to ask everyone again, what is it that you're doing in your life right now that you're unhappy with and you can't turn away from it? You can't walk away. You can't put your foot down. You can't draw a boundary. You can't, whatever that is that keeps you in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it could be something like you might be screaming at me, right? Well, I have to have a job and this pays my bills. And absolutely. So then maybe your choice is, if you truly have to go every day to that job, make it worth going to every day. It's your choice to be unhappy there.
Right.
It really is. Maybe it's not all fulfilling your wildest dreams, but you can still find joy wherever you are in the situations that you're in. Mm-hmm. Unless it's real abuse. If it's real abuse, get out, people. Yeah, then you need to move away. But we all have that thing, right? That we don't feel like we can move, we can turn away from. We don't even think about it.
We do. We do. And some things are so seemingly insignificant.
Yes.
That we just do it every day, and we begrudge it, but it's so small and insignificant that we don't think about it.
Right.
Those might be some of those things, some of those things to think about.
Yes.
I don't know if this is maybe a different podcast or if this, but there's also, what are those things in life that you want so badly, but doubt's in your way?
Yes.
Doubt and fear is standing in your way.
Mm-hmm.
That one is so much easier for me to answer.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to answer it?
Than the other one?
Or expand on it, even if you're not ready to say to everyone, I totally understand that.
Well, there's And this, I think this actually will fit into both questions.
Okay.
Being settled in my brain, being settled
Okay.
with who I am. And I don't mean settling for who I am.
Okay.
I mean being settled with who I am in my life right now,
Mm,
being settled, being at peace, finding joy even
mhm.
with where my life is,
Yes.
where my life has been,
Mm,
and where my life is going, without being all tumultuous about it,
great.
without grabbing onto the shame of who I was, grabbing onto the fear of who I want to be.
Yes.
And
I want to say, for those of
yes,
you who might be thinking that she's settling, that's not what she's talking about.
no,
She's not talking about settling at all. And you can still have, well, not still can, that's part of the journey of getting to your purpose, your true purpose.
yes,
Yeah. Your career is not your purpose, just so
no,
we all know. We like to think, well, if I had this and I had this and I had this, and I've done this myself. And I can tell you how many times, well, I can't tell you how many times, but there's been a lot of times where it's like, well, if I just get to that level, I'll be so happy and everything. Nope. I get to that level and I'm like, damn, this isn't enough. I want more.
yeah,
So anyway, the career isn't it. It's inside, and what it's how you're
yes,
expressing yourself, or who you are on the inside, who your
yeah.
soul's purpose is healing and becoming a whole person, and sort of what to do with that.
And I want to be, okay with
Yes.
where I am in my
Yes.
journey. That
Yes.
doesn't mean I want to stay where I am in my,
No.
but I truly want to be okay with where I am in my journey, and
Yes.
doubt and fear stop me from doing that.
Yes. Yes. Those
Yeah.
roadblocks, and they come up in so many different ways.
Yep.
Sorry, this just took me out real quick. Let me just, all right. Sorry. So you all know, I'm sure I've talked about this. I have a son who lives out of the country. And even though it's so easy to talk these days, thank God, I can't imagine those days when it was by letter or whatever.
Oh, and you wrote a
I
letter,
post.
and it had to go by ship to get
Yeah.
across the ocean to get over to Europe
Oh,
or wherever.
man.
And
Oh,
had to,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. For a mother who has a son who travels around the world, yikes. Please, I'm so thankful for what we have today. We can talk. Still, though, because he's a grown man, and so I don't, it's not like he's a kid and I check in every day and blah, 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 and whatever. But anyway, he reached out and I wanted to let him know that I was doing something, and I, talk later. So thank you for sort of letting me sort of do that. So hopefully I'll get a chance to talk. I'm sure I will. I think he's 8 or 9 hours ahead of us here, but well, I mean, we'll talk. But even if we don't get to talk, just the fact that he checked in with Mom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll take it. I'll take that little text.
Absolutely. Being able to have connection, however you get that connection,
Yes.
is,
Yeah.
oh,
Mm?
nope.
Oh,
Retract.
I know where you were going. Yes, back it up.
I retract however that connection happens.
Yes. No.
Because
Healthy connection.
having a healthy connection is absolutely priceless.
Yes.
And when it's not healthy and it has to be broken,
Oh,
it's heartbreaking.
it is.
It is absolutely heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry, Mari-Lyn. And yay. So this is the type of friend that I am. I sit and I will hold space and I'll say, I'm so sorry. And then I get excited because if she obviously right now she's triggered. This is what triggered looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she gets to heal something. She just got clarity. Matter of fact, so I've known her enough to know sort of what this is clarity. She just got a little bit of some, I call it soothing clarity. And so that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy
Yeah.
that
And
happened.
that's soothing clarity. That's a really beautiful term.
Thank you, Spirit. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Never heard that
I'm gonna
before.
write that down.
And soothing means that it solidifies what you've already known. It solidifies that clarity that you've already been given.
Beautiful.
And a lot of times it's not soothing at all.
Yes.
Because, and especially when you're talking personal connection that has been broken, that pain just doesn't go away.
Right.
You can heal all you want to, and that there is a piece of pain that just stays. Now, maybe that's by choice. I don't know.
Right.
But I don't know. Right now.
Right. Well, I can tell you in this situation, since it was this, what I just said about my son.
Yeah.
This coming up, I've had many people say to me, like, how do you stand it? How can you let him go? How can you whatever? Like well, first of all, he's an adult. I can't. However, there are parents who would, like, they don't support their kids going off. Right. You know what? The beautiful man that I raised is so much happier where he is now than if he were forced to stay here. And that's the beautiful person I want to see. He is so full of joy doing what he wants to do. So how could I possibly be so selfish as to say, no, you're staying here, or I'm not going to support you,
or you go away and I'm going to not support you.
Yes.
And by choice, giving up a connection.
Oh, I just won't do it. I won't do it. No. No. And he thanks his dad and I a lot, because he hears the same thing from people. Oh, your parents are okay with it and they support. And he's like, yeah, they support me traveling around the world. And believe me, it's not always easy when he's in some, I don't even know if it's third world, fourth world country. Like, it's bad. And I remember him, I may have said this on, I don't know, but he got sick, like throwing up. He couldn't stop throwing up. And he reached out to me because every kid, they don't feel good. First person, they call mom. And I'm glad we were not on video, because I was freaking the hell out. He was way far away. He was in, I'll think of it in a minute. But he was and there was nothing I could do. And when he came home from that trip, he was so thin, and he's already a very thin dude. Thankfully, the hostel that he was staying in, the woman that owned the hostel took pretty good care of him. And I was so grateful to her for doing that. But I couldn't get all upset, and I couldn't say, well, you need to come home now, or you need to, that's his journey. He needs to take it. And there's nothing I could do. I'm just glad that we didn't, I didn't have to, because he definitely would have seen it in my face that I was freaking out. Yeah. Yes. Nepal. That's where he was. He was in Nepal.
Hmm.
And their hospital is a room with a couple beds, and there are mostly women there that are just there to keep you comfortable. That's it. That's it.
Yikes.
I know, it's scary. Yes.
Right.
So anyway, thanks for letting me go off on another thing, but that's for me to keep that connection with him, and I want that connection with him, I support him. I support him being wherever it is in the world that he wants to be, doing what he wants to do. So yes, that connection, as you were just talking about, I think that's a healthy way. Supporting the person is a pretty healthy way to keep a connection with someone. You know, if they deserve, okay, there's a lot of places you could go with that, but I'm talking about my situation. So anyway, blah, blah. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's it. Don't get me started on my grandson, the cutest grandson ever in the whole wide world, but I get a connection with him too. I love my grandson. He makes me happy. He warms my heart. So anyway, okay. So do we say it again, or did I just take all the air out of the room and it's time to stop?
No, I don't think so. Because we had started talking about those things that you want to reach for, but fear and doubt stand in your way.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
Although,
oof, boy, yeah.
that could be a whole nother podcast.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Uh-huh. And then how do we, so when fear and doubt come up, let's say you don't know it, because there's a lot of us, we don't even realize there's something there. You don't realize you are resisting something until maybe someone says to you, like a good friend says, wow, every time I mention this, you turn away from it, or you have an excuse not to do it, or you get quiet, or something like that, and then it stops it dead, and then we don't talk about it.
That's actually happened, hasn't it?
Oh, many a time. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time for me to see that. That is actually the reason, I think, that Fred brought me the meditation he did this morning. That was really for me. It was really for me. I experience the meditations different than everyone else does. But yeah, and I saw it clearly. It's like, okay, I'm turning away because, I'm working on the because. I don't want to say anything now because I haven't quite, it's not quite that. Y'all are going to hear it because we talk about everything here, but
we talk about a lot. Yeah.
Talk about a lot, but
yeah.
So I get that there are times when we don't even know there's a problem. We don't know there's wounding there. We don't know we've just put up a big ass brick wall and we can't go any further, but we hit that wall and we just turn away and we just don't look at it. Right?
Guess I'll go this way.
Yes. Yep. And then nothing around it becomes easy at all because we're missing the path we're supposed to take, but we just not to say that we're ever off our journey, because we're not.
No,
this is something I came to learn, and it's a doozy. It's a doozy.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, yes. Whoo.
Yeah.
So how's everyone doing out there who's listening? Are things coming up for you? I hope so.
Okay, I just got to say, I just felt, heard, was like consumed with, oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
which tells me, yes, we have been thought-provoking today.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's something I want to say to all of you, those loyal people of ours. Wherever you listen to us, please find a way to on different apps. There are different ways of showing that you listen, or you give it a star or a thumbs up or a follow or a whatever. When you do that, we get to reach more people. The algorithms change.
True.
And they move. And then with YouTube, certainly subscribing and liking, but also leaving comments. And we love hearing from you. So please leave comments, even if it's just a smiley face, something that helps us get this out there for people to hear.
Yeah. We
We'd so appreciate it.
we want to be thought-provoking. We try to be thought-provoking.
Yes.
But we want those thoughts to reach more people.
Yes.
We really do.
Yes. And we really are in such gratitude for those of you who do that, because we've seen on some of the apps that it's like, oh, someone subscribed or whatever, and we are so grateful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, very much so.
Or we get emails that say, my friend told me about you. Aw, thank you. We so appreciate it. Yes, we know that our content is not for everyone. So we thank everyone who gets us. Who gets us.
And we want more people to get us.
Yes, yes, and we think they will. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, and we have, so this is the day before Halloween.
Yes, it is.
And we are going to, this will actually get posted today because we have another one tomorrow.
Oh, we do.
We're
We
going to
have
do
a
a special Halloween one, and we're going to put that on all of our platforms. Whoever they are, they say not to do that, but we like to do that once in a while.
They do, but
They do. Yes. And we might wear a costume or something. So we'll see how that works out. We had a really funny one. Mari-Lyn said we should be ghosts, like put a sheet over each of us, but we can't breathe very well. It's not an easy.
You know what? I think if we put a sheet over us, I don't think we'd be seen.
Oh, it's true. You just see.
I think we'd be invisible. So
maybe that's it. We should cover our cameras, and so we're actually ghosts talking there. Okay.
maybe.
There's just some crazy conversations we have. Yeah. But thank you, everyone. We so appreciate you. Please tell people about us if you feel drawn to. If spirit is drawing you or pushing you in that direction, please do that. Reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. We would love to have sessions with you and help you heal if that's what you're looking for. You can go to our website, tcseverydaypsychics.com. Yes, and that's the same on YouTube, TCS Everyday Psychics, and the Conscious Spirit podcast.
Yes.
We have those two channels, and then this. We really appreciate all of you. And yes, I'm getting mushy. I do that once in a while. So now I've got to back out of it because, feelings. Getting mushy. So, is there anything else you'd like to say, Miss Mari-Lyn?
Ditto, and ditto.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Do appreciate you very much. And
yes. Real quickly. Shoot, you want to close space?
Oh, space. Very good.
Usually we forget and then we do it late. We go, oh yeah. And
we do it afterwards. Yes. Yes. Spirit, we close down this sacred circle around everybody who's listening. We ground out all of the energy. We send back everybody
Yeah.
sends back any energy that they're holding that is not theirs, and they pull back their own energy.
Yes.
Our energies run free and clear
Yes. Thank you.
because everything else is grounded out.
Yes. And we want to everyone stay in that high vibration of feeling good, of feeling yummy. Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so very much. And we will see you tomorrow, actually, for Halloween.
We will.
Halloween, everyone. We love Halloween.
Oh,
Halloween is so awesome. Yes.
loves Halloween.
I know. Okay.
Halloween.
I love all things spooky and whatever. So yeah. Thank you, everyone.
All
See
right.
you next
Take
time.
care.
Bye.
Bye.